I saw my wife's earring in the airport lounge. Airports make everyone honest eventually. The departure board was stuck on DELAYED like a choir that knew one note. I bought a day pass to the lounge because upholstery felt like a strategy. Storm might be late, I texted my wife. No problem, Lara replied. PowerPoint and pizza, be safe. Inside the lounge, citrus, quiet, small carrots. I washed my hands and saw an earring in the steel sink. Gold hoop, tiny opal. The scratch along the rim, the one I'd made last winter when I dropped it between the floorboards, looked back at me like a signature. I snapped a photo and sent it. Yours. Looks like it, she wrote. I must have lost one this morning. In an airport lounge, I texted. Lol, I wish, chained to conference room. The mirror didn't flatter me. I dried my hands, sat by the window where planes taxied like polite whales, and tried to design a version of me that didn't become a detective with a bad soundtrack. Everything okay, said the woman in the next chair. Slate sweatshirt, hair up, paperback folded on her knee. She had the calm of a pilot without epaulets. I'm having a disagreement with an earring, I said, and showed her the photo. Strangers are safe until you make them your audience. I'm Isla, she said. I make maps, real ones. I roast coffee, I said. We map mornings. I told her about Thursday routines, Lara's opals, the text that felt like a performance. I didn't accuse my wife of anything, not even to myself. Isla listened like a good bench. Could be hers, she said. Could be a copy. What do you want to do that you won't regret in your own kitchen? Not start a war in a lounge. Good rule, add this, don't hold your breath around coincidence. She handed me her book of essays. Distraction. We named the jobs we could see on the runway: cone choreographers, ladder diplomats, the person who decides when a plane gets to pretend it's a bus, until my chest admitted oxygen. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Your guest has arrived. We're in 3B, a photo followed. 2 glasses of white wine, almonds, gate 17 beyond the glass. My gate was 17. Isla read my face. Wrong number. Maybe, I stood. Will you watch my bag? Sure, she said. Walk, no scripts. I did a lap. At the far end of the lounge, a glass-walled room labeled 3B held 2 people. The man had the smile of a practiced consultant. The woman had dark hair. I knew the way you know your own key ring. Lara wasn't wearing her left earring. She saw me and performed the quick math of expression. Surprise, calculation, relief that I'd done some of the work for her. I opened the door because glass makes lying theatrical. Hey, I said, funny running into you. Mark, she said, this is Leon, client. We grabbed a room. The terminal is not friendly. Leon stood and offered his hand. I took it because I wanted to be a version of myself I could use later. He had the good manners of a man who knows where exits are. I looked at Lara's ear. She touched the absence without thinking. It fell out sometime this afternoon, she said. I noticed right before this. I told myself I'd buy cheap replacements on the way to the gate. I found it, I said, showing the photo, in the sink. She breathed out something between pain and gratitude. Of course you did. You always find my small lost things. Leon excused himself with the speed of someone allergic to strangers' backstories. The storm slapped the glass. My body wanted to demand, to list, to perform righteousness. Instead I said, I didn't come to invent a fight. I know, she said. I didn't come to audition for one. She looked tired in the way people do when they've been fine for too long. I should have told you. After these last weeks, I wanted something that was mine, even if it was just metrics and slide numbers. "Is that what this is?" I asked. "It is," she said. "And also I wanted to feel competent without narrating it to the person who knows all my missing pieces." She glanced at the sync in my phone. "I didn't lie to hurt you. I didn't tell you because it felt merciful to both of us. That was cowardly." "I'm angry," I said. "I want to be the guy who carries your earring home and makes a joke about sink monsters." "Be both," she said. She touched my wrist, her truce gesture. "Can we make rules that don't require us to pretend we're saints?" "New ones, airport edition," I said. "Rule 1. If a meeting needs a glass room, the other person gets invited by text before the door closes." "Rule 2, she said. "No secrets that would look good in a photograph." "Rule 3, I said. "Touch in daylight even if it's fluorescent." "Rule 4, she said, wincing because she knew it was the hard one. "If either of us wants to be wanted by other eyes, we say it before we go looking for mirrors." We both laughed, the helpless kind that sounds like us in better kitchens. "I'm sorry," she said. "Not just for today." "Me too," I said. We didn't kiss. The lounge had rules, and suddenly so did we. She texted Leon that we needed 5 minutes. I texted Isla that my bag hadn't been a test of humanity after all. Back at the window, Isla gave 2 thumbs up like a coach who believes in first downs. Lara and I sat close without touching and watched rain make the runway into moving arithmetic. We talked small things until the big things arrived politely. I told her I'd begun to flirt with surrender because giving up can dress like wisdom. She told me she had too, in the way people do when they're afraid of becoming unrecognizable to themselves. We decided to be boring together more deliberately. Our flights delayed again, the board loved repetition. Leon returned. We did the professional song adults know, then he left with a handshake I didn't hate. Lara and I walked to the sink. The earring still lay there, opal pretending to be a small planet. I cleaned it with my shirt and clipped it back into her ear. The click was tiny and loud. "Document this," she asked. "We learn to like receipts that aren't about money." I snapped a photo. Her ear, the opal, my fingers, rain smeared across glass. We wrote the rules on a napkin, the fragile kind that makes you choose words, and slid it into her wallet. Before we stood, we went back to Isla. I thanked her for guarding a stranger's backpack and for loaning me her calm. "I just handed you a map," she said, tapping her paperback. "You did the walking." She tore the blank flyleaf from the book and sketched a rough diagram, a circle for home, a square for work, the lounge between like a narrow bridge. She drew 3 arrows back and forth and labeled them with nouns. "Questions," she wrote on one. "Touch" on the second. "Permission" on the third. "Use all 3 when you cross," she said. "People fall in when they skip one." Lara smiled in that private way she saves for moments when the world briefly seems well designed. "We should actually calendar this," she said when Isla had drifted away, book lighter. "Not just rules, rhythms. Monday check-ins, Thursday daytime kisses, Sunday walks without headphones." "And a penalty for missing them," I said. "Like having to say out loud what you were afraid of that week." "Cruel," she said, delighted. "Let's be that kind." She put her hand on my knee and left it there long enough to count as daylight, even under airport bulbs. A thunderclap rolled across the ceiling. The board finally revised itself. The board updated. We gathered our things slowly. Lara slid the napkin into her wallet and patted it twice like a superstition we were still learning to earn. When we finally boarded, we hugged like people who trust pilots more than weather. We sat 3 rows apart because seats are assigned and life is. It felt like a metaphor I could keep. The flight attendant smiled like she'd seen better reconciliations in worse light. In the morning, she sent a picture of her ear with the earring still there. "Staying put," she wrote. I replied with a too-strong coffee and, "Me too." What? If you came for scandal, I have a sink and a storm and a glass room where we decided to take the walk instead of the shortcut. If you came for a moral small enough for a carry-on, don't let coincidence write your script. Take a lap. Ask the boring question before it grows teeth. Touch in daylight, even if the bulbs buzz. And when you find what you thought you lost in a place that smells like citrus and contrition, don't just pocket it. Put it back where it belongs while someone you love holds still.